speaking of kind of last night's episode and Cass coming back, obviously there are many things that he's even not aware of and the brothers aren't aware of. Can you kind of tease that arc and what's coming up specifically for his character and how that relates to you guys?
Well, I think we can kind of touch on it. I know, true to Cass' form, he never comes back to Earth just simply as coming back to Earth. You know, either he's on some sort of mission, or he's lying to me, or he's coming back invisibly. And so there's something going on that we don't find out about just yet. But he certainly is back and with the boys. But it's not the good old trio that it used to be. And so there's something that Sam and Dean have to kind of figure out, like, what's going on with Cass? Is he different? I mean, you've been to hell and back. You kind of came out different. We figured it out. Then you lost your soul. Like, what's the situation with Cass? We got to figure this out. And he's helping, and everything seems to be okay on our end. And obviously, we don't know that there are things that are going on. So that'll be another arc that'll be really fun and interesting to see pan out.
Well, we know that Jeremy kind of described this season as reality versus perception. We saw a lot of that in last night's episode, and kind of Dean's perceptions of things and Castiel's perceptions of things. We saw someone kind of watching Sam in the season premiere, and we haven't really explored. We know that he chose not to look for Dean, and that's kind of been brought up by Dean a couple of times now, so I wonder if you can maybe tease something about whether Sam's perception is also being altered in some way.
I can kind of assume.
I think so.
Yeah. So Dean's reality has changed very much, and Dean's perception of his reality, what with just spending time in Purgatory with Ty or Benny, he has his own version of reality, and Sam's reality has been very different for the last year, and his reality has almost been a more acceptable form of reality, and that's more times I've ever used reality in a sentence.
Drinking game.
It's kind of one more time. One more time, it's a drinking game. But yeah, Sam's perception changes quite a bit when his brother comes back into his life, and Sam's perception beginning of the season was, I don't have Dean, I don't have Cass, I don't have Bobby, I don't have Rufus, I don't have Ellen, I don't have anything. I don't have any guidance. I don't have Kevin, I don't have Crowley. I have nowhere to start. And so, though his reality might not have been that, his perception was, I got to get out. I got to do, this has destroyed my family time and time again. When am I going to wise up and get out of this? And then Dean comes back and he's like, well, okay, and now here's that wrench. And going back to the figure we saw watching Sam, that's kind of dealing with Sam's purgatory. That's kind of Sam's...
Ooh, that's good.
That's good. That's deep.
Good. That's nice.
Like we see Castiel and his reality of sorts in yesterday's episode. We've seen Dean obviously in Purgatory, and now we're going to see a little bit of Sam and what he was doing for that year off. And we delve into it, and that also helps, to back to your first question, really ratchet up the kind of tension between Sam and Dean.
Very nice.
Look at that.
Good. That was good. I'm very impressed.
I was impressed by the cardboard stuff, so I had to kick it up and
amp it up a bit.
Amp it up.
So that sounds like we're going to see Amelia kind of coming into the present day storyline as well.
Yes.
We kind of seen the last of the Purgatory flashbacks now that Cass is out and Dean's out. Because I know the fans are loving seeing it.
I vote for more of them. I say we keep them coming.
I bet you do.
I'm not in Purgatory.
Stuff you in
He's
some
not in
blood.
Purgatory. He gets the days off.
That's right.
I will say that the Purgatory stuff is I think exceeded a lot of people's expectation. I think it's really turned out.
I think episodes
really cool.
14 through 18 are Dean telling Sam about Purgatory, and then
Is that right?
I think the fans would love it. I think the fans would love it.
Yeah, I'm not. We're not going to see much of Purgatory. I think for the next couple, simply because we're now out. But I still think there's stories to be told.
Yeah.
Whether or not we decide to go down that road or not, I have yet to see. But now that we're dealing with so much kind of topside, between Benny and Dean and Sam, and now between what's going on with Cass, what's really going on with Cass, and whether or not he lets Sam and Dean in on what's going on with him, and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot to deal with, but it's a good. It all kind of comes together and it all intertwines, and that's what makes good TV.
Damn right. Can you tease a little bit about next week's episode? It kind of looks like a more humorous turn.
Henry.
Yes,
yeah.
Cartoony.
Oh, that's great. Mike Farrell back. Next episode is one. We've had a few pretty pretty serious episodes in a row, and we had to. We had a lot of mythology to deal with, and I know Jeremy wanted to still revere the first 7 seasons. He didn't want to just go like, okay, I'm driving this ship, hell with everything. So he gave proper respect to the ship that he was taking over. And now it's in that same vein. It's time to respect what we've done and do kind of a funny show where the fans will like it and have a good laugh. And we had an amazing guest star, BJ Honeycutt, Mike Farrell himself. So that was fun to work with him. But we have Cass back, we have Sam and Dean, and essentially something wacky starts going on. It seems like people are dying these cartoon-style deaths. And so we go in and we pretext as FBIs and try to figure out what's going on. And that's when we find hilarity ensues, so to speak.